Are you making decisions today that your future self might regret? Most people don't realize that the small financial choices they make in their 30s, 40s, and 50s quietly shape their entire financial destiny. This isn't about one catastrophic mistake. It's about repeated subtle missteps, the kind that compound silently until it's too late to course correct. In your 30s, you're building. In your 40s, you're optimizing. By your 50s, you're defending what you've built. Each decade brings new pressures, new assumptions, and new traps. So here's the question. Which of these 25 common mistakes are you unknowingly making? Are you overestimating how long you can delay retirement savings? Are you stuck in a home that drains your wealth? Or maybe you're helping others financially at the expense of your own future. The earlier you spot these traps, the more power you have to adjust. We're going to walk through the most critical financial mistakes by decade and give you the mindset and moves to sidestep each one. If you're serious about building lasting financial freedom, this is your roadmap. Let's begin. Your 30s are about momentum. You've likely left the uncertainty of your 20s behind. You might be growing your income, starting a family, or buying a home. But this decade is deceptively risky because your financial habits begin to harden, and what seems manageable now can spiral into costly patterns later. The first mistake people make in their 30s is neglecting an emergency fund. Life doesn't announce its curveballs. A layoff, medical issue, or broken down car doesn't ask if you're ready. Without a buffer, you're not just vulnerable, you're exposed. Think of this fund as your personal shock absorber. It smooths the ride when life gets bumpy. Experts recommend 3 to 6 months of expenses in a high-yield savings account. But the real goal is peace of mind. Start with $1,000. Automate contributions like it's a utility bill. The key is consistency, not perfection. The second mistake is overspending on housing. That dream home or bigger apartment might look like progress, but if it eats more than 30% of your income, it starts to erode your financial agility. And remember, it's not just the monthly payment. Maintenance, property taxes, insurance, they all add up. If you're renting, beware of lifestyle creep. I can afford it now is how future stress begins. The third mistake is ignoring retirement savings. It feels like you've got decades to worry about it, so many delay. But this is when compound interest has the most power. Time is your greatest asset. Start small if you must. Even $200 a month in a Roth IRA can grow into 6 figures. Don't skip employer matches, and don't let market volatility shake your resolve. Long-term investing only works if you stay in it long-term. The fourth mistake is carrying high-interest debt. Credit card balances at 22% interest act like a tax on your future. Minimum payments lull you into thinking you're progressing when really the principal barely moves. Use strategic payoff methods. If needed, consider a 0% balance transfer, but only if your behavior shifts too. The fifth mistake is not diversifying income. Most rely on a single paycheck, but job security is fragile. Your company's financial health isn't always within your control. Diversification doesn't require drastic change. A few hours a week freelancing, tutoring, or creating online content can bring in $200 to $500 a month. It's about building flexibility. The sixth mistake is falling for lifestyle inflation. As income increases, so do the expenses, and often unnecessarily. You get a raise, and the first instinct is to upgrade. But real progress is when you increase your savings rate. Adopt the 50-30-20 rule and protect the 20%. If possible, make it 30. The seventh mistake is skipping insurance. It's one of those areas we avoid because we assume we're invincible. Health coverage is essential, but so is life and disability insurance. A $500,000 term life policy can be as cheap as $25 a month. Think of insurance not as an expense, but as protection against derailment. The eighth mistake is not investing outside of retirement accounts. Your 401k is great, but it's not flexible. A brokerage account gives you optionality, whether it's for early retirement, a home purchase, or starting a business. Invest in index funds. Keep fees low. Let compounding do the work. The ninth mistake is neglecting career development. You may be coasting. Maybe you're good at what you do, but the market doesn't always reward comfort. New skills, certifications, and networks can unlock new income tiers. A $10,000 raise now means far more when it stacks over time. The 10th mistake is failing to plan for major goals. A house, a wedding, travel, these aren't abstract ideas. They're expenses with dollar amounts and time frames. Turn dreams into line items. Break them down. A $20,000 goal in 3 years, that's $555 a month. Open a dedicated savings account, automate it, name it, make it real. Your 40s are a pivot point. By now, you've likely established your career, grown your income, and accumulated some assets. But this decade is also when time starts working against you financially, emotionally, and biologically. The choices you make here are less forgiving. There's less room to recover from mistakes, and the margin for error begins to shrink. The first mistake people make in their 40s is poor tax optimization. As your income grows, so does your tax burden, and failing to minimize it is like leaving money on the table. Most people don't realize how much they're overpaying. Max out your pre-tax retirement accounts like 401ks and IRAs. Contribute to HSAs if you qualify. If you're self-employed, explore SEP or solo 401ks. And if you own a home, understand how deductions work. Tax planning isn't about cheating the system, it's about understanding it well enough to play smarter. Even something as simple as knowing when to sell an investment to minimize capital gains can save thousands over time. The second mistake is neglecting financial education. You've likely developed habits by now, but that doesn't mean they're optimal. The problem isn't ignorance, it's outdated information. Financial products change, laws change, the market changes. You need to keep learning. Read new books, follow credible sources, listen to financial podcasts from actual professionals, not influencers chasing clicks. A small shift in understanding, like learning about tax loss harvesting or optimizing asset location, can save you thousands. Don't just consume, apply. Turn education into action. The third mistake is letting social comparison drive financial decisions. By your 40s, your peers might be buying luxury cars, upgrading homes, or vacationing more often. It's easy to think you're falling behind, when in reality, you might just be seeing the highlight reel of debt and overextension. Staying grounded is hard, especially with social media, but your goals aren't theirs. You don't need validation, you need a vision. Remind yourself that wealth is what you don't see. Savings, investments, freedom, not things. Unfollow if you have to. Protect your focus. The fourth mistake is failing to review your finances regularly. In your 20s, you might have set and forgotten your 401k allocation. In your 30s, you may have built a loose budget, but in your 40s, set it and forget it no longer works. Review your spending quarterly. Rebalance your investment portfolio annually. Evaluate insurance needs as your life evolves. These aren't chores, they're checkpoints to ensure you're not drifting off course. Use tools like Mint or a basic spreadsheet. Track your net worth, watch your savings rate, adjust deliberately. The fifth mistake is taking on too much financial responsibility for others. Your 40s might come with aging parents, dependent children, or even extended family looking for help. And while generosity is admirable, sacrificing your financial health for others is unsustainable. You have to put your own oxygen mask on first. If you choose to help, define boundaries. Make it budgeted and predictable. Set expectations. If you're supporting a parent, for example, cover a specific bill rather than giving open-ended cash, or offer time and logistical help instead of money. Clarity prevents resentment and protects your long-term goals. The sixth mistake is assuming you'll always earn this much. Career peaks vary. Some grow into their 50s, others plateau earlier. If you're earning well now, don't assume it lasts forever. Save aggressively during high-income years. Invest wisely. Build a buffer, because industries shift. Burnout happens, and future income isn't guaranteed. Treat strong income years as your financial leverage, not your excuse to spend more. The seventh mistake is neglecting health as a financial asset. In your 40s, stress, poor sleep, or untreated conditions start compounding. Just like money, medical costs begin to rise, and poor health can lead to missed work, reduced energy, and higher premiums. Preventive care is cheaper than crisis management. Regular checkups, exercise, and diet aren't just health decisions, they're financial decisions. Build health like you build wealth, consistently and with intention. The eighth mistake is not discussing money with your partner or family. If you're married or have dependents, keeping finances siloed is dangerous. Misaligned priorities lead to confusion and conflict. Talk about goals, share budgets, decide together how you'll tackle debt or save for college. A united financial front reduces stress and increases accountability. Schedule monthly money dates, open joint tracking apps. Make it a habit, not a crisis response. The ninth mistake is not preparing for your kids' future costs with boundaries. College, weddings, first homes, these are expensive. Start saving early if it's important to you, but do it with clear limits. Don't mortgage your future to fully fund theirs. There are loans for education, there aren't loans for retirement. Involve them early in discussions. Set expectations. Teach them how to save rather than simply covering costs. The 10th mistake is ignoring midlife recalibration. Your 40s are a good time to ask, is your financial plan still aligned with your life goals? Have your priorities shifted? Are you on track for the lifestyle you want in your 60s? Don't coast through this decade. Use it as an audit period. If necessary, course correct. That might mean changing investment strategies, adjusting your housing situation, or rethinking your career path. The earlier you realign, the easier the rest becomes. Now, your 50s are no longer about building from scratch. They're about protecting what you've built, optimizing your next moves, and planning your exit strategy, whether that's retirement, downsizing, or simply slowing down. This decade carries urgency. You have less time, but you also have more leverage if you avoid the common pitfalls. The first mistake people make in their 50s is underestimating healthcare costs. Too many assume Medicare will cover everything or that their current employer plan will always be available. But medical expenses, from premiums to prescriptions to out-of-pocket costs, can erode your savings faster than you expect. A couple retiring at 65 may need over $300,000 just for health care. That doesn't include long-term care. If you're still working and eligible, max out your HSA. If not, start setting aside funds in a separate account. Research Medicare options early and supplement plans to cover vision, dental, and long-term care gaps. Planning now gives you choices later. The second mistake is not adjusting your investment strategy. What worked in your 30s, Mari's aggressive growth, may not fit your 50s, but the opposite is also true. Going too conservative too early can cost you future growth. The key is rebalancing. A general rule is to subtract your age from 110 to determine your stock allocation. At 55, that's around 55% in equities, but your risk tolerance, income needs, and time horizon matter more. Talk to a fiduciary advisor, reduce high-fee funds, diversify globally. The goal is balance, not fear. And don't react emotionally to market dips. Your strategy should be driven by data, not headlines. The third mistake is claiming Social Security too early. Many rush to take benefits at 62, thinking it's now or never. But early claiming reduces your monthly benefit by up to 30%. If you wait until 70, your payments can increase by 8% per year past your full retirement age. That adds up. If you're healthy and have other income sources, waiting may pay off significantly. Review your Social Security statement at ssa.gov and run multiple claiming scenarios. Factor in spousal benefits, taxes, and longevity. Timing matters. A few years of patience can yield decades of higher income. The fourth mistake is over-supporting adult children. Helping with college, weddings, or home down payments feels right, but if it's done at the cost of your own retirement, it can backfire. You can't finance your retirement. They can finance their goals. Set firm boundaries. Offer guidance, not guarantees. If you want to help, do so in specific ways, like paying a bill or offering a low-interest family loan with clear terms. Protect your nest egg first. Remember, financial support should empower, not enable. The fifth mistake is ignoring estate planning. A will is not enough. By your 50s, your assets, responsibilities, and family dynamics have likely evolved. You need updated beneficiaries, powers of attorney, a healthcare directive, and possibly a trust. Without these, your family could face delays, legal fees, or unintended outcomes. Estate planning isn't just about death, it's about control. A simple conversation and a few documents can prevent a lifetime of problems for those you leave behind. If you own a business, this is even more critical. Don't leave decisions to the courts. The sixth mistake is missing catch-up contributions. Starting at age 50, the IRS allows you to contribute more to your 401k and IRA accounts. $7,500 extra for 401ks and $1,000 extra for IRAs in 2025. These are powerful tools to supercharge your savings in your final peak earning years. Take advantage while you can. Even $5,000 extra annually invested at 7% over a decade adds over $70,000. That can fund years of retirement spending. And if you're behind on your goals, this is one of the few legal ways to close the gap quickly. The seventh mistake is not downsizing when it makes sense. A big home might have made sense when your kids lived there, but if it's now half empty, expensive to maintain, and tying up capital, it could be holding you back. Downsizing doesn't mean sacrificing comfort, it means aligning your lifestyle with your current priorities. Selling a $600,000 home and moving to a $400,000 one could free up $200,000 for retirement or reduce stress or buy time. Think practically, not sentimentally. Simpler can be smarter. The eighth mistake is underestimating retirement length. Many still plan for a 20-year retirement, but if you retire at 65 and live to 90 or longer, that's 25 plus years of expenses. Inflation, healthcare, and longevity risk can silently erode your plans. Stress test your retirement projections with longer lifespans. Use conservative assumptions. Plan for flexibility. Consider building multiple streams of retirement income. Now, Francine, from Social Security to investments to rental income. You don't need to work forever at Bespanio, but you do need to plan like you might live longer than you think. The ninth mistake is chasing risky returns. With time running short, some try to make up for a lost time through speculative investments, crypto, flipping real estate, or unvetted private deals. The problem? Losses hurt more when there's no time to recover. Stick to proven strategies. If you want to dabble, limit high-risk plays to no more than 5 to 10% of your portfolio, and vet everything. If it sounds too good to be true, it usually is. Stay grounded in what's worked and beware of urgency that comes from fear, not strategy. The 10th mistake is not preparing for career transitions. Ageism is real. Burnout is real. Layoffs happen. Many in their 50s face forced retirement or end up in lower paying jobs than expected. If you want to work into your 60s or beyond, stay relevant. Keep your skills sharp. Network consistently. Consider phased retirement or part-time consulting. Build up 6 to 12 months of living expenses in cash. And have a backup plan because in this decade, resilience matters as much as income. Your 30s, 40s, and 50s aren't just different chapters of life. They're different financial realities. Each one comes with its own set of decisions, risks, and opportunities. The biggest mistake isn't making one, and it's ignoring them until it's too late. But if you've watched this far, you're not doing that. You're taking control. You're being intentional, and that's the foundation of real wealth. If this video helped you, subscribe and turn on notifications. We break down complex money topics into practical strategies every week. And if you're ready for the next step, watch our next video. It's waiting for you.